Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 6 of our Lindberg Red Demon kit. Man, I'm telling you, this thing is a beast. And just for scale, I grabbed some of the 1/24th size people. I mean, Tim came over and checked everything out. Lori's here. Even TJ stopped by, checked this thing out. Daisy, you know her, she'll always want to be in the seat. So I got a lot done. I got a lot not done. And I got a lot to cover today. So let's just jump right in. As you can see, it's sitting on its tires, kind of. They're just sitting there, just holding it up. I wanted to kind of get a feel for everything this morning. And I thought, what a perfect time to start an update. So let me strip this thing back a little bit. I even put the roll cage in just to see what it looked like. I'm still jazzed with how the rubber, the white rubber, painted with craft paint and my panel liner. That's all that is. So I'm leaving this one in. I'll pull this out. We're losing everything here. Let me get the wheels off here. And we're going to start by moving all this out of the way because I wanted to just come in here. These aren't attached yet. But they did, like I said, they painted up great. I was just kind of playing this morning. Now the seat is in. It'll stay that way if I leave it. And I probably will now. I just got to figure out this one seat cushion keeps wanting to fall out. So I got to figure out a good way to secure that in and glue it to where it's going to hold. But what I did with this is first these two mounts are to hold the roof on. Well, we're not going to use the roof, but I found that these two mounts, if I glue them in place, that locks this cushion around the top here. It locks the interior in there very tight. And it holds it in place, and it looks really good now. Before I had gaposis big time all over the place, and it wanted to fall in on itself. So I added those, even though I'm not going to use the roof, and they sure made a big difference. I touched up the decals a little bit on this side. I got a decal video coming this week, guaranteed, because I'm going to edit it today. So, and then the only other thing I did in here is I painted the little, I don't know if it's carpet or leather. I'm going to do it like leather. I still have to panel line it for where the stick shift and the e-brake goes. But that's it for here. I mean, making progress, but this thing's just so big that it takes a long time. Now, let's start here. We'll just keep on rolling. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Wow. The blue dots, and he cast resin those. They're clear blue resin, and I just took the my new. I'm so excited with these things. My new gallery paint markers, and I used the brightest one, which they call it aluminum, but I just painted those on there, and I'm telling you, even on the resin, when they dried, they don't rub off. So I painted them on there. I hit that with just a touch of quick shine, just to give it a little gloss. Drilled the holes in the glass after I painted the clear glass, the red, and I'm telling you, I was a nervous Nelly for fear that would just crack like crazy. So I literally was just turning the pin vise and letting the weight of my pin vise, which is just this one, just the weight of this itself, drill that hole. And it took about 10 minutes to go through one, but I'll tell you what, I'd rather spend 10 minutes to go through there than have one that's all shattered and cracked and stuff. But I also was working on, and I'm going to bring it up right now. It sounds like I'm a little out of sorts, but I'm not. I kind of have a plan on how to show you this. I'm working on putting the lights in. Now, these are going to be turn signal lights, and they're going to go up where the window frame is, like this. And I'll put a clear glass in there. We'll paint those orange. With the LED in there, I'll paint orange. So when it flashes, it'll be orange. And inside here, I'll show you right now. This really works out nice. I have a battery holder here that came with these LEDs that are in the description below. So if you're looking for these little mini LEDs, you can find them on Amazon. And it came with this little clippy thing and that battery holder, which makes a heck of a nice little tester. So here we go with this, with the LED glued in there. You can see that's nice and bright. That's just the one little teeny tiny LED in there, super glued to the bottom. And that thing's bright. But what I wanted to show you is how that's going to look with the turning signal. I think that's going to look really good in there. Whoops, I'm clumsy today. I think that'll be nice and bright in the back. I'm going to have it work with the headlights and turning signals with the Arduino. But see how that blue lights up too? So that's pretty cool. And what I did with the lights with these is I didn't paint the red on the outside. I flooded it on the inside of the glass. And that way, you know, you can touch it, rub it, whatever, and it won't mess it up. I am going to hit these with quick shine because just over the 60 years that this thing sat in a box in the garage, the glass got a little scuffed. I'll hit that with quick shine, and that'll take care of that altogether. I do have the straps on here. I was having a heck of a time finding the hinge pieces for this. I knew I had it, and I knew I stripped one of them, and I could not find it anywhere. And finally I gave up and said, you know what, this is going to get glued on anyhow. And then today I found it. So there's good in everything. That's going to be nice. We're going to have headlights. We're going to have tail lights. We're going to have turn signals. We're going to have working turn signals in the back. And this should all work with a TV remote. So I'm hoping next Saturday to have enough of this build done to where I can start doing all the electrical stuff and getting the punch board made up for the Arduino and all that, so that we can actually prove that the software I've been working on at night for the past 2 weeks is going to actually work. Now, I'm going to pull you way out here because this thing is ginormous. I started going through things and started fitting things on, and I decided that I need to attach my truck bed now. Because if I try to put the body on and then the truck bed, it's just going to interfere with everything. And I thought, if I get the truck bed on now, I can start working on wiring things like the headlights up here, the tail lights in the back. I can get all those on the Arduino board now before I put that big dang body on here and make it to where I have to fiddle with the wires going down these rails, because I'm going to try to run them down the rails. I have the two, I don't know if I tilt this where you can see it. I have the holes on both sides here in the engine mount that I'll be able to fit those wires through. So they're going to tuck in here very nice. And then I'll just run them from the headlights back. I'm hoping that the wires are long enough to make it all the way to the back and I don't have to splice. My soldering isn't 100% the best that it should be, but if I have to do it, I have to do it, and we'll do it staggered lengths, so there's no way that those could ever come together. I'll solder one short, I'll solder one long, so the solder joints are way separated from each other, and bring them in the back. That way I don't even have to worry about wrapping it to protect it from a short, because there's no way it's going to. Now, let's flip this big thing over. We got a lot of suspension work done. And now that I got all the chrome stripped, all the mold lines taken care of and all that, and blackened and chromed and all the prep work and all that done, this is starting to go together pretty darn quick. And that's why we're doing the update today, because I wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to see all the suspension and how cool it is before we go into the next step. So let's turn this way, and we'll start with the back, and I'm probably going to tilt this and smack the camera for sure. But our rear axle ran through here, and there's a gear here. Well, I didn't put the pinion gear on the drive shaft because these are glued, and it doesn't matter anyhow. I don't want these spinning. Just because of what I plan on doing down the road. I'm not making it as like a toy. I'm making it just so it's going to sit on the shelf or on a base, or maybe a lamp. You know, might build a lamp with this thing because it's just that big and that cool. But I got that glued together, and it's the three pieces. And remember, back in one of our updates, I was talking about sanding this. Well, look at how sanding and stripping, painting it black, and then painting it chrome made that to where that looks like one piece in here, and that was worth all that work. Stripping all this so all the chrome would match was worth just getting that to where that looks like one piece. So I'm really glad when I got it chromed that it didn't show up a huge line in there. Just that would have been funny. Not really. The leaf spring drops down in. It fits on two brackets coming off of the brakes, coming back this way on either side. And this thing literally just kind of squeezes in, goes out, and it's locked. So once that piece is locked into these two pieces, which are glued on, you know, the inner rings you're supposed to glue on. So I glued them in, got this, squeezed it, put it on there. This is one locked in piece, and it goes together nice. Dropped it in. There's 4 pegs for the leaf spring to drop down in, and then a plate that goes over the top of that. And when you glue that plate in, what I did is I didn't have this on first, or yet. So I glued this plate with super glue on all 4 parts and across the back. And then I just used a pair of a clothespin just to hold that in tight. Now that that's locked in, that actually gives this a little bit of flex. So I was surprised that it actually kind of works a little bit. Now, let me pull you back even farther here. We have our shock mount and our strut going across. This piece here, I glued to the spring. Everything else is just a press fit in. And the only reason why I glued this in is because I was afraid that this piece would just fall out. But it locked in there pretty nice. Both sides went together. That shock is really cool. That must be like a coil in there to where when it goes up and down, it tensions that coil. It's the only way I can figure that working. And then your brace is coming out. They pressed in here. These pieces glue on. And then this piece literally is a press fit in there. So you don't have to worry about making this a glue bomb down at the end. And I'm telling you, I had to open up the holes to make that press into here. That's not going anywhere ever, no matter what, unless it breaks. So it went in there nice and tight, and it's a press fit. Remember I did my I-beam across the back here. If you ever get one of these and you do want to stiffen that up, because I would recommend that, because that's holding all of this tight while you're working on it. I recommend that the supporting piece that I made here in the front, you put on the back side, because it'll make putting the engine in here a little bit easier. So that's the only faux pas I have so far in this build that I know of yet. Let's go into the front here. You see the leaf springs and the front I-beam. Geez, oh Pete, I don't even know how to hold this to show you. The leaf spring and the I-beam here are one piece. So this piece fits down in here, and then this little piece on the top, right here, I'm trying here really hard. Right here comes down. It's got 4 pins. So those 4 pins surround the leaf spring and go through the bottom, and then you glue the nuts on the bottom, which I on purpose did not strip and chrome. I wanted them to be a different color, and I'm still planning on painting the end of the threads at the top here with my titanium gold, just to show that those are same within the back. But that goes in, and that locks this in here really nice. And then these 2 pieces, your braces here, go into these supports on the side. They come up and they glue in right here in the corner. It's just a press fit here because it was nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. But that glues in here, and then that locks everything from going this way. This is steerable. So once you put your axle, and do this before you glue this on, put this piece on, it goes through here, and then this little knuckle is just a press fit. And it took a lot to press fit that on there, the steering knuckle. So that ends up locking your front brake in place so that this can turn. And then this actually does turn with the steering wheel. You turn the steering wheel and it's supposed to turn this. I'll do it one time just for the video, and then I'm going to probably never do it again. There was a big debate on fenders, no fenders. It came down to we're not going to use fenders, and the reason why I'm not going to use fenders is because if I use fenders, I want all 4 fenders. I tried it with just the front fenders on and no backs, and it just didn't look right. And with the back fenders on, the wide tires don't look right. They don't fit in there nice. So I just said, to heck with it. And then command decision, we are using white walls. That is the wife's choice, and I'm going with it because she liked it that way. And you know what? I'll tell you, with the white walls, remember, we're going to also have impossible to pick up. But those are going to be on there. So I think that is going to give it, it's going to tie in all the colors together all the way across. Look how cool those are. He molded that out. All I had to do was cut the little Teflon piece, or Teflon, the little evergreen piece in the back, and then cut the little scallops out of it, glue it on. It's done. But in order to make that work, the axle pin for the back and the front needs to be cut off flush or below flush of the hub. Because when the wheel drops on there, you don't want that sticking out because it'll push that Teflon piece out of the way. So you cut that off, you cut all the lug nuts off all the way around here. When you're ready, you glue this on like that, and then you just glue the spider on top of it. And it'll be good to go. Nothing's going to fall off. Shoot, with CA glue on here, nothing's going anywhere. So we're good there at the front, back. The tires are a press fit. The rims are 2-piece. We'll get this straight. The rims are 2-piece. The white wall piece goes on. It clips in all the way around this ring. There's a ring. You can put white walls on inners and outers. I'm only doing the outers. I don't like the look of the inners, and I didn't want the writing on the outside. I wanted that on the inside just so it's just smooth with the white walls on the front tires. Now the back tires, I did leave that out just because that would have been a show off a little bit. I could have gone either way with it, but I think that the white wall fits in the groove on this side a little bit better. And these are, if you look, they're wider white walls than the fronts. You get enough to do inners and outers on the fronts, but not inners and outers on the rears. So I had to make the choice, and since it fit better that way, I put it that way. I also have the holes drilled on the tires for, somewhere there it is, for the valve stem, fronts and backs. I won't put those on until I'm ready to glue those onto the car, just because I don't want to bend those 900 times. Shiny objects, the steering box, and you see how freely that turns. I did put a little tiny bit of, they said to oil it, so I did, and it did make a difference. But like I said, I'm only going to do this one time. This will sit like this, and then your steering arm comes down this way. I'm only going to do that one time, and then I'm going to get it set to where I want the tires to look that way with the steering wheel all lined up and everything. And that'll be it with that. Just because I know sooner or later those gears would just turn into pudding, and then my front wheels would flip back and forth without the steering wheel being in the right direction of turn for the way the wheels are. So I think I covered everything except for the black vinyl hoses for the brakes. Came with it. 2.5-inch cuts on the front, 2-inch on the back, and they look really good. One disappointment I had is I worked real hard to get this radiator to work and look really, really good in here. And then I was test fitting everything just for a picture, and realized that this radiator does not fit with the blower. So it's not going to go in. We are now using this radiator, which is made to fit with the blower, which is fine. I did put the modem in here. The modem, I can never say it. The gauge in here. So it'll still look good on the front. It's just not as beefy as the other one. I stripped it. I chromed it with the same chrome I used on everything. That's just the green stuff. I blackened everything out for the radiator, and we're going to go with that. It does look okay with the engine in place. I'm not going to throw the engine in there just because it's such a hassle, and I'm so afraid that I'm going to just break that engine moving it around all the times. The motometer came out real good. I said it that time. Came out really good. Couldn't find the glass for it. That's like the second piece that just wasn't here. I'm sure it fell off the sprue. It's probably on my floor, to be honest with you, and I never saw it come off. So I made a piece of glass out of the little vent glass that I'm not going to use. I made it out of that, and I think that works out. It looks good. There is actually glass in the back here, so how cool is that? Everything's looking good on that. That'll look really nice on the front. I just wanted that big beefy one up there. So we're done with that. The tailgate. We're coming down to the nitty gritty here with the steering wheel. And I'm really stoked with this steering wheel. And I'm going to end up doing, let me see if I can find it here real quick for you. We did the gunmetal, and then I was going to use the chrome. I tested that green stuff chrome. I didn't like it. I stripped it, and then I bare metal foiled it. And now I'm thinking I may want to do wood grain in there instead. So that's why I haven't drilled the holes yet. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go, either wood grain or the silver look, the chrome look. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you think I should go to the silver here, or now this is why I'm introing into my steering wheel, or the wood grain like I did on the steering wheel. I'm I painted the steering wheel black. So I had the, the gloss black for the cross members. And then with my Mobius 0.2 millimeter, I did just the cross members. And that dang thing is so good that I was able to do that and hardly have any chrome up around the edges here. So I was good. I didn't have to come back and re-black anything. So I did that, and then I took my, I want to say desert tan. It's called dark yellow, XF60, and I zebraed this thing. And here's a picture of it with the black and the dark yellow. I did that, and then I let that dry. I came back with XF64, and I did in between all that and gave it the brownish look. Let that dry, and then I came back and I hit it with the clear orange. And I think that's pretty believable wood grain for a steering wheel. Really happy with that. That's going to look awesome with everything else going on. But now I'm thinking, do I want to do the same thing with this so that they kind of match up, or should I just leave this alone like that and start drilling the holes for the, it's upside down, and then start drilling the holes for the indicators, because I am going to have right and left turn indicators. I'm going to have this as a, no, I don't know what color, probably green, or just power, just to show that the power's on to the Arduino. I'll have LEDs behind the gauges, probably 2 of them for the gauges. That'll show that your headlights are on. And then I'll have one of them that's blue that'll show that your high beams are on. So, and yeah, I'll be able to turn high beams, low beams, turn signals, flashers, everything on from a remote control. And my laundry is done. So with that, again, let me know what you think about doing that in wood grain. I won't be up to that point until probably Wednesday anyhow, so I'll be looking forward to your comments. And with that, I want to thank everybody for watching and putting up with this long build. And I want to give a shout out to Automotive Bottle Car Livecast. They're every Thursday at 8 p.m. Check them out. The link's down below. Great guys, just talking about modeling and a little bit of everything else. And then I want to also thank all our veterans, because without you, I couldn't do this. And with that, y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow. And thank you again for watching.